And we return to Below the Fog. Everybody is gathered around in the noble cool fire, and it has been an hour of watching Avocado weave magic and whisper to it and let it flow around her fingers as she runs her hands over these different types of metals and doodads and all of this fun fancy stuff, and you watch as this magic sinks into both Rhea's axe and the sword that was presented to her from Mist. As this time is finally up, the magic sort of settles and leaves this glittering effect, and you see that your sword has now changed, Mist. And Avocado picks it up and hands it over.
Mist is
So,
going
here you go.
sorry.
Oh, she was just saying, here you go.
Thank you. She's gonna take the rapier and she's gonna kind of like turn it over her hands as she looks at it, testing its side as Augie would have no doubtedly told her to make sure that everything was sound and it looked proper before she sheaths it and takes a step back, and she looks to Augie and says, I think it looks good, but maybe you should check before we go, just in case.
No. Check the balance. See how it feels in your hand. Hand feels important.
It
You're
feels
the one's
good.
got to use it. Yeah. Easy to carry.
I think so. And then she's gonna pull it back out and kind of like flourish it in a direction at his mustache, perhaps.
Yeah. Oh, whoa.
Feels good.
You're the one's got to use it, and it doesn't matter how the steel is. It matters how it feels in your hand and how it swishes, and if you can use it as a weapon. The wielder is the most important part. If it feels comfortable to you,
Sufficiently
then
swishy.
it's nice and flexible as it should be. Yeah, it looks good.
All
You
right.
you do know deep in your gut what this weapon does, by the way. It's just sort of a natural instinct now to know because it's been handed to you.
Cool.
And if you want to share with people, you can. If you don't want to share with people, that's fine too.
I will post it so I don't read just a chunk of text out loud.
Okay.
Dealsies?
Dealsies.
It does things.
By the way, for YouTube listeners, we are down 2 barbarians, but that's okay because we're, as always, puff passing.
We're just puff passing the barbarians.
Yep, that's how they like it. Oh, right. So,
Barbarians.
there you go, Dice Jail. Have fun with that. I don't know if YouTube's gonna see it, but you'll get it when it starts playing. You guys want me to wait for you to read it all?
I think we're good.
Okay. Well, Rhea gets her axe and she slides it into, her back. She doesn't really, question if it's good enough or not. She trusts that it's good. Ahsoka, you said you wanted to get something?
Yes. This is still the magic shop, or did I get confused earlier?
No, you are currently in Noble Cool Fire. This is the smithy shop.
Okay, cool. I was going to see if I could trade in my hand axe for probably like a short sword or something.
Right, you have proficiency with that?
It should be a martial weapon.
I do not have the items pulled up. Should have the items pulled up. You know what? Absolutely not. We're not fucking around with that. Let's just say that it works. Unless somebody says otherwise, we're gonna go for it. So you want to trade in your hand axe for a sword, basically.
Yeah, a short sword.
Short sword. So there's going to be a little bit of an extra charge because the hand axe is a little less metal than a short sword would be, so you're going to have to trade something else in.
Okay.
And who do you want to deal with? Did you want to deal with Avocado, or did you want to deal with the dwarven lady that's currently back at the forge?
Probably Avocado since we're right next to her.
Okay. So once she's passed out everything, I take it you just sort of go up to her. Yes, that's
Yeah.
Bobo in the background. I'm so sorry to everyone and anyone.
I don't know what that is.
Bobo is
I was
my...
just checking. It's one of his cats.
Yeah, it's my mom's cat.
That looks like a rabbit.
Oh, no. There's this faintest meowing in the background for Goo when he talks, and it's Vovo.
Yeah, her name is technically Voka because she's very vocal. Because she likes to scream. But we call her Vovo. And she's about the size of that rabbit.
But she's got a pair of lungs.
Yup.
So yeah, Avocado.
Yes. So Avocado turns to you. So how can I help you?
I was wanting to trade in this
Okay.
hand axe.
Cool. So what do you want to trade it for?
What sort of payments do you accept?
Well, I take
Okay.
like coin, I take like adrenaline memories, I take, like memories, whatever you
Do you
have on
take
hand.
Do you take pretty flowers?
I mean, are the flowers magical?
Yeah.
What kind of flower is that? I want to see.
Ahsoka, she plucks the flower from her head and just kind of shows it to her. And it glows. It just glows all sorts of different colors.
Conflicting emotions, I see.
Yeah.
Avocado reaches out and she like brushes her fingers over it, and you see like magic as like a misty form fall over her hand, and it flows over the flower, and she goes, "Oh, neat. Sure, I can totally do that." And the axe. Do you want it enchanted? That will cost extra, or do you just want like a regular sword?
Not like a
Regular one? Okay, so we
Yeah.
have this like display, and she taps the top of the counter, and the front of it folds down like with this little like slap of wood, and there's a display case of just basic swords. Some of them are a little fancier than the others, and she points at 3 of them and she goes, "You can pick from one of these 3, because that's the price range you're at."
Okay.
So you've got a basic one that's got like a wooden handle with like some leather grip around the front, basic blade. You've got one that looks like it's a little more serrated near the hilt. The handle looks a little more, not wooden, but not plastic. Ceramic. It looks ceramic. And then you've got one that's got like a green tint to the blade, but only when you like tilt your head or like turn your eyes a certain way, and the handle is wooden and it has like vines growing up it.
I'll take the green tinted one.
Cool. So that one's pretty neat. I think it's very aesthetically pleasing because, it fits your vibe.
Oh,
And
thank you.
she reaches behind the counter and she pulls out the sword, and she like grabs like a complimentary sheath and like shucks it in there and like buckles it, and then hands it over and takes your axe. And just kind of looks at all of you and goes, "Okay, so can I help you with anything else, or are you guys like then.
I'm good here. Does anybody else need anything else from?
I don't think so.
I think I'm good now.
Drake, did you say something? Because I didn't hear anything if you did.
No, I just coughed.
Oh.
Well, enough of that.
Alright, that's
Stop
super duper great, but we kind of have a policy of like no loitering. So, you know, leave.
Zoma just nods and says, "Thank you." Oh shit! Then he just like gets big-eyed and is like,
Yeah, Avocado just kind of like looks at you and like reaches up and like twirls a finger around her hair, and you can see like her eye twitch, and she's like, you can go.
"Good day," and then he's gonna turn and leave first.
Vitani's not there, or she would be laughing at him.
Oh yeah.
So what do you guys want to do? You have several hours until sunset.
I don't think there was anything Mist really needs to do. Anyone else?
Hold on.
My affairs are in order.
Mist would probably, if nothing else, find a nice sunny spot to nap. Because that sounds delightful.
I'll do some last minute maintenance on Andrea then and start tinkering that up.
Well, you did see in the brochure that there are what look like free, just sort of like napping, sunning benches over at the Starland Men Rowing Company, where you can get nautical tours and stuff because they have access to the beach.
Well, that sounds delightful.
So if you wanted to go sunning, that would be a good place because the chairs there are basically free to the public. You could just nap there if you want.
Mist is on her way. Guys, I heard of a great nap spot. Does anyone want to check it out? Augie, you could probably just sit. You probably don't have to nap. I don't think there are rules.
And
There
so
should
I'm
be
just gonna
rules.
be like, I want to go to that place where Vitani got a change of clothes.
Yeah. I keep hearing about this place. I kind of want to check that out.
Both tailoring. So
Yeah.
I take it
But there's a
Augie.
ray of sunshine over there that you could sleep in. You guys have weird priorities.
So Augie
We're not
and
like you.
Mist are gonna go to the beach, and Ahsoka and Zulamar are gonna go to Oath Tailoring.
Yes.
Okay, wait. Out of character, I just remembered something from the last game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know if we wanted to discuss it in the recording, but like apparently there's like a slight discussion of maybe Zulamar and Ahsoka knowing more about each other than they thought.
Yeah, you can message. That's if you guys want to do that. Like, that's. If you think that's a fun idea, then that can be canon. If you don't think that's a fun idea, then we'll just be like, oh, whatever.
Yeah. What if Miss Boobs?
I don't know the rules.
I'm pretty sure you have a little more decorum than to poop in public sand. Just because you're a tabaxi doesn't mean you don't have, like, manners.
Bold assumption.
She
And
gets
that
a
might
little,
have nothing to do with her being a tabaxi.
she gets a little drunk, okay, off the sun.
It's not her fault.
God.
She's never been to a giant litter box before. Excuse me if your customs are weird. You pay with drops here.
They lame shit bugs.
I want to apologize for introducing you all to this person. And I can see myself out.
Oh.
He is headed down. No.
Oh gosh. Yes, we might need to message a bit more Frappi on
Yeah.
that idea before
That
we
was-
execute it, but I do still think that I want that to be canon.
Okay.
It's just my brain gets all particular about like ages and whatnot.
Yeah. I was just one of the things I just remembered.
Yes. You know what? Can Rhea also come with us to the
Yes.
Oath tailoring? Sure.
clothes shop? Yeah.
I bet
Bring
Vitani
Rhea.
would want to take a nap in the sun, or at least sit in the sun.
Yeah.
She seems smart like that.
Vitani will probably come out with like a to-go box full of like seafood and offer it to you guys as the three of you go to the beach and the other three go to Oath tailoring. Who do you want to talk first? Who wants to do the fun jazz things? Do you guys want to go to Oath tailoring and then all of you come back to the beach, or do you want to do beach scene and then go to Oath tailoring?
I want to do oath tailoring and then go back because like Zulimar's gonna end up going back to the beach after coming out of oath tailoring.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll head on to Oath tailoring. You guys find your way there pretty easily, mostly because you follow the map, because you all have like maps at this point. You feel like a little lost, but then the streets are obvious on this map, but you feel a sense of being lost, even though you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And you arrive at the glass wall of the storefront, and you walk inside, and there is the Fae, just sort of lounging on the counter. He doesn't really say anything when you walk in.
Zulimar's gonna be like, hello. You might have had a fire genasi in here earlier. We're friends of hers and curious about what attire you have to offer that's suitable to this area.
Oath opens his eyes and looks over at you guys and goes, so am I like supposed to know you, or?
Not at all. We're just visitors, unfamiliar with this area, and we were advised by Sugar that our attire is not suitable and that we would find better clothes here.
Well, I mean, yeah, what you have on is like not suitable. So like, what's your vibe?
So I was gonna look at Ahsoka like, what does he mean by this word?
You know, what's your how do I explain vibe to you? What do you get? What you give off? Like your energy.
Necromancer? Adjacent?
Oath just looks at you and blinks. Just goes, we'll come back to that. So, what's your vibe? And he points at you, Ahsoka.
Well, I'm a nymph now. I just discovered it, so I mean it's all earthy and you know.
So, like, are you trying to like avoid the floral print, or are you like leaning into it?
I'm more leaning into it. I like the floral stuff.
Gotcha. I can go with that. Do you want to like complement the skin tone, or do you want to like offset it, or like pop?
Damn it. Kind of like maybe go with the tones, the colors. I'm all new to this too, so I really don't know what's best for me.
Cool, I've totally got you. And he's gonna point to Rhea. And because Rhea's not here, we're just gonna pretend that Rhea's here and says something awkward and Rhea E, and it's uncomfortable, and then she just goes, "Don't
She's
worry
got
about
the
it."
wolf.
She's wolf, yes. She's got a wolfy vibe.
And Zulma's gonna go, I think I get it. And the moon.
Okay, so it's like celestial shit, like stars and shit. I got that. That's totally
Yeah.
necromancer. You know what? I got you. Hold on. Are you like a topless sort of dude, like just swim trunks, or are you like a one-piece swim attire thing, or are you like swim trunks and like a robe?
Zulma blink and just go. I'm going to lean into what Vitali would tell me to say and go shirtless.
Okay, I can get on that. And he's going to wave his hand around and present in front of you first, Zulmar, a set of silky looking swim trunks that have skulls and like the like fake slashes with like the blood drips on them. It's very sticky and very cheesy. And it's on like this dark black sort of print, and all of the little skulls and like the blood drips are either red or white, and it's like very, very sticky. And he floats one of those by, and then he does another one that's got like cobwebs and like dripping little bugs and beetles and things that just sort of like filter down the leg. And then there's another set that's just black with like white stripes on the side, and you see sort of the lacing on it has silver that goes around at the bottom, and then the little what are they, like the drawstring tabs where you like press down and then you pull to make things, those look like little skulls. So these are your
Zulma's
options.
gonna go for the striped ones.
Okay, yeah. Listen, you did not give me a lot to go on. I wanted a variety.
I understand. It was starting to make sense as my friends gave their vibes. So, yeah, I do that. This is more my vibe.
Every time you say vibe, I feel like you're insulting me. Anyway,
Stop now.
you, the blue one, are you like two-piece, one-piece? Are you like the type of person that wears like next to nothing, or do you like more coverage?
You know, I'm used to the coverage,
Okay.
but what is your two-piece options?
Okay, so, and he's going to pull out some pretty like emerald green with like blue lace around the top, like bikini sets. Some of them have like flowers that are like printed on the actual fabric itself, and others have like flower embroidery. There's like flowers in the lace. There's basically what you would imagine that would kind of fit the vibe. Some of them are a little smaller than you would expect to be more comfortable with. Others look fine. He also pulls out a one piece that's got like cutouts in the hips, and then others that have like the little heart cutouts underneath the boobs, and then others that are like on the boobs. You know, just cute bathing suits. And he also pulls out sort of like one of those beach cardigans.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a sheer, like, dark blue, almost purple beach cardigan that goes down. It would go down to about your knees, but it's, like, long sleeve. And it has, like, really cute, thick, like a robe belt that goes with it.
She kind of looks at the bikinis and then looks at the one piece and goes, I think I might go with that one piece instead.
Or which one piece were you wanting? Did you want, like, a titty window, or just one that's, like, full coverage?
Which one was the one with the hips?
That one would just be just like a basic one, but you can design it however you want, because I'm not gonna like restrict you, because It's your bathing suit. But it's got cute little hip cutouts.
Yeah, I'll do the hip cutout one because that would probably be good.
Cool. And then we'll... Ooh, Rhea, whatever you want to have in your bathing suit, you have... Ah. You know, post-credits it.
Yeah.
And Oath stops and looks at you guys and goes, okay, so for, like, payment... Are you guys doing it in cash, or memories, or emotions, or names of people? How do you guys want to pay? I mean, I also do servitude. Or just days of your life.
Hold on, let me see. Just so that out of character, apparently the dice on D&D and D&D Beyond is very fucked up. Messed up.
Oh? Or they just not
It's
working?
Like, truly busted, or like they're just fucking with you fucked up?
It's more of like I go to click to roll something and it takes forever for it to load. So
Gotcha.
I can pay an emotion?
An
I mean,
emotion?
like a memory of an emotion.
Oh.
It would have to be something significant, though, because I don't do low quality. You're basically
Does Zulamar
shopping.
still have the emotions of his anger for his father, even if he can't remember him?
No, he doesn't have those.
Damn it. Wholesale got yeeted out.
Yeet.
You're basically shopping at, like, Fantasy Gucci.
What about like the how about I just give you the memory of my first hunt?
I can do that. Because it was significant to you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty significant, but I mean, there's been many hunts before, so I mean, I can always just do it again.
Yeah, it'll bring light to the new... whatever. Great, let me see your hand.
And she gives the merchant her hand.
Alright, I'm gonna roll something. Okay. That certainly happened. You do not remember the first time you went hunting. I'm going to say this now. The next time you decide that you want to go hunting, a little bit of the joy just not going to be there.
Are you kidding me?
Zulamar, what did you want to give?
I'm struggling. He's really cagey about his memories surrounding death, but those are probably the most meaningful to him. Life and death, I guess. So he's going to offer up he's gonna go, what about the first time I helped deliver a child for somebody in my village?
Okay.
This is the part where we learned that Zulamar had a pass as a baby smuggler.
Oath nods and holds out his hand and says, "You drive a hard bargain, but okay."
And he gives his hands over.
Okay, let me roll something. Oof. Oof. Okay.
I don't like these noises.
The memory is gone. And in its place, you think about the second time you delivered a baby. You think about Oh, well, the fear from that is gone, because you've done it before, so you need to do it again. You hadn't done it before. You have no memory of doing it before. So every memory after the first memory is replaced with just a little bit of fear and anxiety. And from now on, if you ever have to deliver a baby, there will be fear and anxiety. More so than
Oh. Okay. Shoe bill, man. Whew.
Alright, and
Love that.
Rhea can figure out what she wants to give later. So, you guys have either... You can change here or you can change later, depending on what you want to do. But you now have your fancy bathing suits.
Zoom just drops trowel. He wants to try this out and understand it immediately.
Just in the middle of the fucking shop.
Oh.
We have fucking changing rooms.
Ahsoka just kind of like turns away. It's like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh.
Yeah, they're right there below the sign that says changing rooms.
Low-key Zulimar thought they were right for like changing diapers or something.
Yeah, like, go change in like a changing room. Don't like whip your dick out in public.
Okay, Zulimar didn't drop trow, but he was like unbuttoning his trousers, so he's like, oh,
Nope,
okay,
you already
yes.
said it. He dropped
Oh,
trowel.
fine. He dropped trow.
He's got to shuffle
And then he's
awkwardly
like-
to the changing room with his pants around his ankle.
Deal.
Alright, so the
So
outfits,
they change.
The outfits are very comfortable, and they're like much cooler in this climate. So once you guys exit, what did you want to do?
Ooh, very nice.
That's such a cute suit. Like 100%, that's so fucking cute.
Zulimar's gonna be like, that looks lovely. And I suppose this does make sense. It is rather warm here. Clothes were starting to stick to me.
Yeah, it's slightly uncomfortable.
So they're gonna go back to the beach.
Yeah.
Alright. While you guys are on your way, Mist, Augie. I'll wait for the two of you to unmute.
I was waiting for a question.
Well, the two of you have arrived at this big venue that has a bunch of beach space. There are chairs trussed up everywhere. There are big umbrellas where some of the chairs are hidden under the big shade. You see little docks and you see big ships out in the distance that are ferrying people back and forth. Some people have beach balls, some people are playing volleyball, some people are playing like tennis, but on the beach, which is a bizarre sort of thing to do, but you know, spring break.
Is this the first time we've ever or that we've properly seen the water and ocean?
You two, 100%.
Okay, I wasn't sure if the buildings had blocked it up to this point, or you know what I mean.
Like, you saw sort of the edge of it, but you weren't up close to it, and you've been able to smell the smell of salt water.
Well,
But
as
this is
Mist
the
walks
first time
up
you see
and she her feet kind of touch the sand, her eyes are going to get a little bit wide, and she looks into the distance as she sees the water that reaches out so far that she can't even see that far. And she looks to Augie and she goes, "Is this real or is it magic?"
That's actually a really good question. Oshi takes off his backpack and pulls out the folding chair, and with a flick of the wrist goes.
Well,
Sets
they
the
had
chair
chairs
down.
here. She starts and then she's cut off as she watches.
I mean, if you want to go grab one, go right ahead. But
She's gonna pick up a chair that's closest and just drag it over obnoxiously. You know, when there's someone at a restaurant and they don't pick up the chair.
Yeah,
And it just
it's not
screeches,
it's not as dramatic because it's on sand.
but it still looks awkward.
Yeah, it looks awkward. Some people are like looking at you like, but they don't really say anything to you, but you get the vibe that you are being judged.
Good.
You also
And
are
That's
the
right.
only
Pop down
two
beside him.
people. You are the only two people on this beach not in a bathing suit of some sort.
Miss
Up
rolled up
here.
her sleeves. We're fine.
And
Took off
Augie's
her
not here
boots and
to.
rolled off her sleeves.
And Augie's not about to get into the strange smelling fish water. He doesn't know if it's toxic or not.
You do see
But
people playing in it.
yeah, but they're fairies. They're
Stupid people.
weird.
It's not just
This could be
fairies.
how you. I don't know that. That's how they could take your soul.
I
So
don't know. I assumed they were gay. This is our world.
You're correct.
so Augie's gonna start sitting down. He's got a moment. He's gonna start tinkering with some stuff in the light. And when Mist asks him if the water is somehow magical or strange, he goes, "Oh, only one way to check." And he spends some of his precious day uh, casting Identify on the ocean.
What you get from the ocean is that the water is magical. But it's not
Whoa.
magical in a sense that it's going to harm you. It's magical in a sense that it's not going to harm you. Specifically not going to harm you. And that goes out for 60-ish feet. But then it stops and it just becomes water. So you see that the area that people are swimming in, no matter their body type, the water isn't going to hurt them. And it's being held
Oh.
together by these pillars that are in the water. So you get a feeling that, say, oh, like a kid sort of slips under something or, gets held down a little too long, the water will not drown that child.
There's a protection charm on the water such that it can't cause anyone harm.
Well,
Only goes 60 feet out, though.
I guess that's a good idea. Takes away some of the danger, though. Isn't that half the fun?
What?
Nothing.
What, you think drowning is half the fun of water? What do you...
No, I just mean if you take away all of the danger of any particular activity, then it's less fun.
I completely disagree. Every time we've been in massive amounts of danger, it has not been fun. When have you been in danger and in fun? Wait,
You haven't been having fun?
When have you been in danger and having fun here? When?
I don't know. Remember that crazy animal creature thing
You need to be more specific.
in the fog lab? That
Again,
with the
more
big
specific.
tongue? That thing was awesome. Killing that was awesome. I was having fun. I bet Vitani was having fun too. And she'll look at Vitani.
Vitani's out in the water.
Oh. Well, we lost her.
She's probably out there playing volleyball with Yuji and Nobara. Because she found just a stray beach ball and decided to play with the babies.
All right, well, I guess she'll sleep well tonight.
Do you want to go play?
In the water? You crazy?
That's not what I said, but okay.
I have this chair. I'm going to play on this chair. It's a game I called Nap, and I'm really good at it.
There's one
You
rule.
so
I win.
are. Okay. All right.
Did you say something, Sona?
I said there's one rule. You win.
Yay! Mist is going to make sure that if there's any umbrellas in the vicinity, that they are not going to be blocking her son.
Fair.
And it's going to. Are there is this like real beach where there's like towels on the chairs, or somewhere that she can acquire towels for the chair?
There's like stands that have towels.
she is going to grab an obscene amount of towels
Okay.
and bring them back and give
She's
2
gonna
to
make it like a
Augie.
cat bed.
Oh, hey, I could use these. Thanks.
And then the rest she's going to make into a nice little spot, curl up, and close her eyes, and she is asleep within a second because she feels safe, because Augie and maybe even Andrea are watching.
All right.
Unless Augie talks to her, then she will wake up.
Augie, you are on a beach, surrounded by people in bathing suits, playing, laughing. Vitani is in water that she knows will not hurt her, so she feels not as paranoid as normal, playing with her wonderful little shifter dragons. After a while of just tinkering and looking around, you see from up the boardwalk, because let's say there's a boardwalk, you get this feeling that, you should turn around, and you do, and you see Ahsoka, Zulmar, and Rhea coming, and they are all in bathing suits.
I as they approach, I put my finger up to my mouth and I give a little pointy point to Miss sitting
no.
there in the chair napping. And I give another pointy point to where Vitani is playing with what are technically called children.
Yes, they are.
Oh, that's uncomfortable because that's something that Oshi has not been checking.
Oh yeah, Zulmar's Vitiligo lungs.
Yeah. Actually, what Oshi's also going to do is he's going to check on the chorus and see if the kid's playing.
Your child is making a sandcastle and enjoying the shit out of it.
Oh,
That's nice.
But it's 100%
You know what?
like a sandcastle that doesn't have like the cool fancy tools. It is literally just a mound of sand. And this child is living for it.
That is delightful. He is learning the rudimentary beginnings of engineering, and that is adorable, and I will support this. And once I'm aware that Mist is completely asleep, I'm going to help.
Does it look like he's just a old man building a sandcastle on his own to other people?
They see that there's something else building a sandcastle as well, but they don't really see, like, course, like himself unless Oji wants them to, and I don't think he does.
I know,
So they
Oshi
just
doesn't give a shit.
they
That's
just
their
see
problem.
like floating sand being put on top of more sand to slowly build a sandcastle. So they assume some kind of magic's going on. They're just not questioning it.
Just wondering how crazy he looked.
A little crazy, but not as crazy as you would think.
Yeah, it could be someone practicing mage hand. They don't know. They don't care. This is a fairy town. This is probably the least weird thing going on the beach, if I'm being completely honest.
I mean, some tabaxi stole a ton of towels.
Ah!
Whatever.
I should be on guard then.
But I'm just
What
saying,
stuff?
they didn't blink
Zuma's
an
gonna
eye.
come up and be like, oh, he's gonna just see Mist napping, see Augie in the sand, see Vitani out in the water, and be like, I honestly don't know what to do. Seems like so many options.
Nap, 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 nap.
Is Mist actually asleep, or is she like half asleep?
She would
I feel like
probably
she's like
say
always half asleep, always
Yeah.
half aware.
she's asleep, but she, like, I don't know if it would come down to a perception roll or something, but
I mean, if you want to make a
Or
perception roll to see if she's
passive.
out or not, you can.
Well, because I was gonna see if I could scratch the back of her ear.
I knew this was coming.
Yeah, I would roll perception for that.
Okay.
And roll it a Mist, do you want to roll a deception, or are you...
Do you think she would know
I think
if
she'd be...
someone's approaching?
I don't think she would because cats and sun nap and, comfortable.
Plus Augie and Andrea.
Okay. So should I roll anything or?
Oh, let me see. I'm gonna have you roll survival.
Survival. Alright.
Survival.
I have rolled a 10 plus 2, so 12.
You think she's asleep? Yeah, she's asleep.
Well, guess what?
What did you roll?
14.
So you reach over and you're maybe an inch or two from Mist's ear, and Mist, you wake up. How you want to wake up is up to you.
Could I? Ooh. What would I have to roll, or would I have to roll to like just without like even opening my eyes, reach up and grab Ahsoka's hand or wrist?
Let's have you roll an acrobatics for that.
I'll take it. I rolled a 25.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you don't even like blink, your ears don't even twitch, you just reach up and you just have Ahsoka's wrist.
Like, don't even think about it.
Okay.
And she will let go of Ahsoka's wrist. And then just as Ahsoka is like kind of dropping her hand, Mist will give like the tiniest hint of a smile. And then look around us and like, new outfit?
Can I roll intimidation to whisper in your ear, like, I'll get you one day?
I'll allow it.
Hilarious.
Come on, dice, roll a little faster for me.
I don't know what I want more. Just to work or fail.
That was a 17.
It kind of feels intimidating. Just a little
Mist
bit.
is gonna like, she'll smile, and then as she hears that, you'll just like see the slightest bit of her fur on her back like fluff up a little bit, and then she'll like try and like brush it off and look as chill as she can as she looks out to the water and be like, well, I don't know, those guys are swimming or something. You should go swim probably.
Mhm.
But Zuma's like, yes, we did get new outfits, and actually a lot better breathable for this weather. Don't feel all sticky.
Sticky.
Yeah.
Isn't that what ears are for? Keeps me from getting too hot.
We are not the same.
Rhea bolts off away from you guys.
Like just full sprint, or just
Yes.
kind of wanders off.
Full sprint.
Oh,
Full
okay.
Are you worried about that?
She'll be fine. I think.
Probably just more moon things, more wolf things.
Roll a perception check.
Okay.
Hey, doggy! Mist is going to shout after.
Did you just call her a dog?
Yes.
It's racist.
Oof.
I don't know. I thought maybe she'd stop.
Whoever wants to
11.
roll. Okay, you got an 11. Did anybody else want to roll it?
What was it? Sorry.
Perception.
Perception.
Sure.
Snickety, alright. I Augied.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Oh no, and that didn't
Barrel.
Augie. Actually, I just rolled a die. It's not terrible. It's only an 11. It's not it's not
We are all thoroughly mediocre.
We're just waiting on D&D Beyond.
Elsie, we still waiting on D&D Beyond?
Yeah.
In D&D Beyond, rolling their dice in a timely manner.
It's a 13.
13? Alright, you guys watch as she runs. You don't see what she's running after?
Jeez.
She's just kind of going.
Well,
I'm not chasing her.
I got my chair out, and I'm kind of busy. I'm building.
Me too.
Sand.
Vitani's totally unaware, right?
Vitani's busy playing.
Okay.
Probably found some other people wearing,
Zuma's,
like, next to nothing to play volleyball with.
Zuma's just gonna kind of shrug and be like, she's not back in, say, 10 minutes? Then we can go looking for her?
You say so.
Zuma's gonna just be like, well, in that time, I am going to go see what it's like to be in this strange smelling water.
Oh, the water's got a protection spell on it, so if you want to do an experiment, could you try to drown and then let me know the result?
So,
And let
not
us know.
drown!
That came out far more dickish than I intended. I do apologize. I meant it in like a friendly sort of, hey, could you do this for me, please? Not in a, I'm gonna shut
You're
up.
asking the right
I'm busy.
man.
Sure, kids, just go out in the water and float face down for a while. Daddy's drinking.
You're asking the right person, though.
Daddy's
Because he's
playing
like,
in the sand.
so you're telling me that this water won't let me die?
I'm not going so far as to say that, but I'm saying there's a protection spell on it, and I'm just curious if it includes drowning. That's all I'm asking.
Oh,
Well, the research about life and death in me really is keen to see if that's true or not, so I'm more than willing to test that theory.
We knew you were the person for the job, champ. And Mist is going to give Zulamar 2 thumbs up as she's already starting to close her eyes and lay back. Just shout if you actually are dying, okay?
He's gonna go to the water, and he's gonna be a little skittish at first, and then he's going to walk in and kind of get Vitani's attention. So whenever she feels the need, like she can step away, he wants to ask her to shove him under the water and not to let him back up.
Could you please drown me, Vitali? Wow, they've got a. I don't know, they've got a really strange relationship now that I think about it.
Could that be some sort of kink? You know what? No, I don't want to know.
And I'm not gonna judge. I mean, we've got people like that. And Brother Bishop, it's just.
That is.
moving right along. You do not drown. The water will not go up your nose or mouth. That's the whole point of the protection spell. If you do it for too long, a lifeguard is going to come over and ask you to please stop trying to drown yourself.
No, I gotta see that. That's actually good. Let's go.
And Zuma's like, it's not working. Push me down harder, Vitani.
I'm trying!
Get the children involved. And so, like,
Kids up here.
Oh,
It hurts.
I can't breathe.
It hurts me right.
really? Are you sure? Because I think you can.
Yeah, and,
I think that's
you know,
the entire
lifeguard
issue.
just goes over and is like, please stop.
See, Mist? You can have something be totally safe and still be fun.
You're right, I am enjoying this more than I think I should.
Just making some enjoyable content for the entire beach to just stop and stare.
I wonder if actually tourists trying to drown each other is like such a normal thing now. They're just like,
That's why they have the lifeguard. It's not because the kids are like in danger. It's because they want kids. They want the fucking tourists to stop trying to drown themselves.
yeah, it's just that we don't want the kids to learn bad habits.
Oh.
You're setting a bad example for water safety. They're not going to learn this way.
All right. So that happens. Eventually, Rhea comes back over after you guys have had fun watching Zulmar try and drown. And she's gonna walk right up to Augie and she's just gonna hand him a tennis ball and then just go, "So I found something out about myself."
What the fuck am I going to do with this? And then Augie just throws it in a random direction.
And she immediately goes after it. And she's kicking up sand as she does, and you get sand like all over your back because of it.
I already have sand all over me. I'm making sand castles. That's okay.
This is a great development.
Is Rhea barking?
No, but you feel like she might if she gets, like, exhausted. Or she might just turn into a wolf, you don't know.
Oh man, now would be a great time for Vitani to be like, "Good girl."
Well, Red's not here,
Should we
so
get
she
her a
misses
leash?
that opportunity.
I know.
I think it's August is the one with the praise kink, but I don't know anymore.
I guess we'll find out. The
Yes,
real
we
friends
will.
were the kinks we made along the way.
Rhea, sweetie, I'm so sorry.
I'm not. This is
Mama's gonna come back and be like, "Oh, so, I'm sure you might have seen, but I certainly could not drown myself. That's a very
You've-
powerful spell."
You've managed to avoid drowning.
I knew you could do it.
Also, Rhea
I
came
didn't
back.
manage to avoid.
It-
Oh, did
yeah,
she?
Rhea. Yeah. No, she's absolutely. We learned something. And if you pull up a seat, you'll learn something too.
Oh, all right. He's just gonna drop into the sand.
Rhea does eventually come back, but instead of handing the ball to Augie, she hands it to Ahsoka. And she's just like, eventually you guys will get tired of this. I won't, but you probably will.
Sister Wilmer.
One
And
time Mist would like to have a chance to throw the ball. Can I volunteer for that, at least eventually? Before this
Depends
is
on
all
if
over?
Ahsoka throws it or not.
Ahsoka throws it the other way. And
Rhea goes after it.
yep.
So you guys spend...
I
Oh?
want to do
Suddenly, like, she's watching this, and he's just like, hang on 1 second. And he starts, like, rummaging, like, he gets into the back of Andre, and he starts rummaging through stuff, and he starts pulling out a tube, and he's just building some shit. He's like, oh.
Are you building a fucking tennis ball launcher?
Yes.
that. Oh my god.
So you guys have a wonderful beach day. This is it.
Oh, I want to
This
say,
is the beach
Zulimar's gonna
episode.
throw it in the water because apparently
That's what Mist is gonna do.
yeah,
So that was
this
the
attire
thought.
is meant for water.
Yeah, she'll run into the water whenever it gets in there. She might not find it, and if she doesn't, she'll probably just be dejected, and somebody else will get it, or it will get picked up by, like, the little beach drones that, like, fly through the water, and she'll go up to the kiosk where she saw the first one, and then just get another one, and bring it back.
I'm sorry. What if Mist like threw it up on top of like the building?
What
Miss is
building?
a dick.
Like
You're-
the building of the dock or whatever.
Well, it's a big, wide, open beach, and, like, there's the boardwalk, but there's no real
Oh, I
building.
thought there was like a
Oh, there's
kiosk or something. You
There's
said.
kiosks, but the kiosks are like little like rolling stands. like with umbrella tops on them. They're like little like shaved ice stands, like food truck stands.
Gotcha.
Are there any trees?
No, there's a lot of palm fronds.
Hmm.
Like if you want to count those as trees.
Could Miss try and lob the ball up into it?
I mean, you can certainly try. Roll an athletics.
This seems so mean. No, I shouldn't.
Good.
Miss is going to feign as she's going to do that.
Rhea is going to watch you, and you're gonna try. Roll a sleight of hand.
This seems better. 17.
All right, let me roll. Rhea's perception against that.
What's Rhea's perception? +4. 17.
All right, how would we figure out who had the higher of that?
The highest.
The highest number.
They're both.
We both
17.
rolled
No, it's
17.
17.
Oh.
Yeah, they both
That's a
rolled
tie.
17. Yeah.
Roll
again?
On opposed rolls, I can't actually remember how that goes. Could be a roll again situation. It's
Yeah,
probably
roll
the
again.
easiest way.
So for me, I rolled 16 plus 23. And then for Rhea, I rolled a nat 20.
Ooh.
Plus 4.
She's a +4, so 24. So Rhea knows.
Write that down. Alright, Rhea watches you do this feign, and for a second she's like, oh, I totally believe that, and then she stops, and then she just looks at you, and she goes, I'm not actually a dog.
Well, you have to try things out or else we'll never learn.
If you're gonna throw it, throw it.
And then she's going to, whoops. Oh no, I'm dropping things. Then she's just going to throw it into the distance and like kind of sulk a bit for failing that.
Hey, Miss,
Yeah.
I got something I'd like to ask you.
What?
Can you get me more of those tennis balls?
Probably. Would Mist have seen her getting them from?
Yeah,
the kiosk?
they have them for like actual dogs or for like tennis. The kiosks, it's just like little payments of like rocks or things just in exchange because someone is making them at the kiosk themselves with their magic. So they're just taking whatever you give them and then turning them into a tennis ball.
Oh,
Okay,
the
well,
rocks
Mist
are
is
good
gonna
for
pick up.
something.
Yeah. I don't know if she's still carrying those rocks. I think she abandoned them at some point when it seemed unnecessary to be carrying a bag full of
No,
rocks.
she didn't, because
maybe?
she tried to give some of them in exchange at the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
And then they didn't want them, so she's like, well, I'm taking them. Because she specifically said these might come back
she
in
will
handy.
turn in those rocks. Hey,
Right.
I need some tennis balls here.
Let's say you get about, not a duffel bag, but maybe like a backpack's worth of tennis balls.
Oh,
Out of
yes.
this kiosk. Anyway,
Oh, nice. Oh, that's perfect.
what else do they have at the kiosk?
They've got like snow cones, and they've got like towels, because you got towels there earlier. They've got suntan lotion, you know, basic beach stuff. And also like, I don't know, migraine medication for all of the kids that are screaming.
Mist is gonna use an extra shiny rock to trade for a snow cone.
You get a snow cone. It is whatever flavor you want, because I'm not going to yuck your yum.
And she will return to Augie and hand him a sack of balls as she
Nice.
settles back on her chair. There you go. It's really expensive, so don't lose them.
I can promise nothing. Losing him is part of my intention. But you got a lot. That's perfect.
You're welcome.
We're not supposed to say that here. You don't want to end up like Zulamar
I
drowning
say
yourself.
to you. I know you're not a fairy.
This
You
is
came
Do
here with
you?
the
me.
beaches.
I do. Do you?
Pretty sure. I feel like I would have noticed by now.
This is like core part of elven culture. Clearly, who raised you?
Mm. Something crazy, clearly.
What a degenerate they must have been.
I didn't say it.
You thought it.
Well,
See, this-
that's not something you can be persecuted for.
Well,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I take it you have a plan to just launch those as far as you can?
Oh, I have plans. Plural.
Alright, are you saving it or are you using it at the beach?
I'm saving this.
Alright, you
This
probably
is-
launch
this
one
is-
or two just on request, and if you do that, then that's when Rhea will like turn into a wolf to try and catch them midair with like a really big jump.
Awesome.
Nice.
Eventually, you guys are going to get tired of the beach. Whether it's just because you're like, okay, I feel like I'm done, or, you know, the sun starts to set, and you're like, oh, I feel like I should get like a shower. Vitani's already come back, she's probably gotten food, she's probably napping on one of the chairs, chilling out. It's been a fun day. It's surprisingly fun. You guys didn't expect this kind of silly enjoyment.
Does that mean it's time to pack up? If the sun's setting?
Probably. There are stations out there for you to, like, rinse off at. If you guys want to rinse off, like, the beach gunk.
Don't need to. Didn't go in the beach gunk.
You probably get sand all
Zulamar's
over
going
you.
to rinse off and just be like, wow, Ahsoka, it's surprising that this attire seems much better suited to the water than what we were wearing before.
Yeah.
What was Ahsoka doing for most of the beach trip?
Kind of walking around, making like little feet trails in the sand. Maybe some sand angels.
Is she picking up seashells?
Yes.
Oh.
About to say, Zuma wants to collect seashells.
Have you guys just put in, like, your bag?
We sell
Just
stations.
small bag of seashells.
Yes.
How closely monitored are these towels? Like, are they checking bags when you're leaving? What's going on?
Nobody's really checking them, because it's just sort of a thing where it's like, they have a bin where you can return them, but you see people that are just kind of, like, walking away with them. They're not, like, enforcing it.
Mist will stuff 3 beach towels in her fanny pack, and the rest she will leave in a pile.
In one of the bins.
No, on the chair.
Gotcha. There are little beach drones that do eventually come by and, like, clean up areas after they've been, like, abandoned.
Sounds like
so.
someone's job.
Mist is helping the economy.
That's exactly it.
Giving
The
the beach
brother
drones
job.
jobs.
She's a job creator.
An entrepreneur
Alright,
with
so...
knives.
She's like a tiny Elon Meowsk.
Oh, I forgot.
Though, I'm sorry, not as much as of a disaster.
Oh, thank God.
I forgot that Ahsoka has Cheester still.
You do still have cheesers.
Cheesers. She's gonna feed Cheesers. Just
Oh.
whatever she can find that's edible.
Probably little beach snacks. Alright, so you guys are washed off. You're either back in your bathing suits. I'm assuming you're back in your, like, adventuring clothes. Since you are about to go on an adventure. And
Mist will put her boots back on.
I take it do you remember where you were supposed to meet up with Sugar at the end of the day?
At the docks? Question mark?
Was it at the docks or was it at the little cafe? I can't remember.
Hmm.
I think it was the docks.
All right, we'll
Yeah, I think
say
it
it's
was
the docks. If it's not,
Whatever.
these we go weeks between episodes. We don't care.
Yeah.
So all of you
We
end up.
eventually end up at the docks, right? There
Yep.
we go.
You eventually all
Yeah.
do end up at the docks, and you see that Sugar is there in a little bathrobe sort of number, but it's furry. And she has little jingle bells on her ankles, but they aren't making sounds as she just sort of flutters around a very tall, very broad, blue-skinned orc. And she's having a quiet conversation with him, which is surprising because from what you've heard of her, she's a very loud person. And she's at the end of the docks just talking with this orc.
Oh yeah, the orc that's the founder.
Nope. Doesn't look like
No?
that orc.
Oh. Sugar's mom?
No. Sugar's mom was a fae.
Oh. How did I... That's a... Okay, never mind.
She told you guys who this was.
I know you did. I just can't remember.
My brain is foggy.
I don't take notes.
We know. Well, what do you guys
Note
do?
takers have been AWOL. It's we turn stupid when Rhea is not here. Um. Uh, Augie, at the awkwardness of the situation, just says, "Hey, Rhea."
Sugar's wings perk up and she turns around and she goes, "Oh my gosh, you guys made it! Hi! Did you have fun today?" I'm like, "Yesterday. Like, have you had fun at all?"
I was gonna go... Actually, we, had quite an enjoyable time at the inn, and as well as we took up your advice, and a few of us did try out those outfits that you suggested, and they were really wonderful for going to the beach in.
Awesome. That's so cool. I'm so glad you guys have had, like, the best time. Like, are you, like, ready for what's gonna happen now?
Yep.
You guys are
Yeah.
so enthused.
It was a day at the beach for sure.
Like, if you're too tired, like, I can understand if you want to, like, stay another day.
Oh,
We're
we gotta
good.
get this done.
Okay, well, my brother here is gonna get you guys in the boat, and then you're gonna have to be really fucking quiet. And then you guys are gonna go, and you're gonna go to the lab. Did I give you guys the, like, key code yet?
No.
Okay, cool. Let me see. And she reaches into the bottom of her dress and she hikes it up. You guys can see that she's wearing teeny tiny shorts, but there's like a little bunch of pouches on like this cute little, like, gem encrusted metal, like, hoop belt. And she's going through the pouches and she eventually pulls out a piece of paper and she holds it out. She's like, "Whoever, like, wants this."
Zerma's gonna take it.
Cool, it has a password on it.
And he's gonna stick that safely in his pocket. Also, I'm writing out the sending message to Dr. Law right now.
Okay, let me send you the passcode really quick.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay.
It's more than 25 words. You can't send that as a message, nor is that practical.
23.
You're not the
You-
boss.
Just saying, you don't need to send out a message if you're counting to 23. It's never mind.
True.
Okay, Zulmar, that's what's on the page.
Joke fell flat. I'll die now. Bye.
That is the password.
You're trying to make a joke with Pierce. Pierce is really bad at that.
What? I wasn't trying to make a joke unless you were talking about them.
No, yeah, to Drake.
Okay.
Pierce was counting, and I was making the joke that was the actual spell. The literal sending was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, now I get it.
Yeah. Mm.
I'm sorry. Like I said, sometimes jokes go right over my head. You and your passwords. I love it. That's a loving you and your passwords. All right. Cool.
I mean, it's pretty obvious what it is. It's just, they make it a little
Wait,
harder.
that's supposed to be obvious?
Yeah, that's obvious. You don't know what that says?
No? Wait, no. Yes, I do. Now that I'm looking for it, I can see it. I don't see 7 ever being used for the R. I've never seen the 7 being used for R, or the 6 for a B, but it was the at symbol and the Y that actually made me figure it out.
Well, this orc gets onto this small boat. It's not like a little rowboat or anything. It's like a little fishing boat. And he waves you guys on. He doesn't say anything. He just waves you guys on. And Sugar watches as you guys, I assume, load into the boat.
Yes.
How stable is this boat? Mist is inspecting it.
It's very stable. It's a fishing boat.
How big is this boat?
Fishing boat.
I don't know what that means. I don't live in Florida.
It'll handle more than your group. It'd handle about 3 times the size of your group with no
Yeah,
problem.
we're in Canada. Our water comes hard here and in solid form.
Is it like the size of a van?
It's bigger than a van.
It's bigger than that. Is this like a deep fishing boat?
No, not a deep fishing boat.
Oh. Dang it.
Well, Mist is gonna get in, but she's gonna sit in the exact middle. And she's not gonna look happy. She does not trust this.
Okay.
Zulama's gonna get in, be cozy.
Sugar's gonna
He's
lean
gonna look
over.
over the edge all curious. Like an
Go ahead.
obnoxious child.
Roll a perception check.
Who, me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I don't like math. 13 plus 3, 16, right?
Yep. Cool, okay. So the boat starts. And the water, you expect to sort of ripple out, and it does a little bit, but it seems to just sort of pull back in before it makes big waves. The boat itself is eerily quiet, and Sugar leans against one of the supports for this pier and says, so, the thing is that you guys are going to want to know is, so, like, the lab is still kind of active. Like, people don't go in it, but creatures go in it, like the mermaids specifically will go in there. And they're not, like, nice, like I said, so just a heads up. Like, I don't know what they're using the lab for. Like, it's not being used for what it's supposed to be used for. Because it used to be, like, really cool. I used to go and hang out there all the time when I was a kid. But now it's just kind of like a thing. But yeah, so if you guys need anything, I can't help you. Bye! And she waves her hand as the boat starts to chug away from the pier.
He's just gonna. So I was just gonna blink and go, oh, she's not coming with us.
How do we get back when we're done?
Good question.
Were you asking that of Sugar as the boat is pulling away, or were you just...
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a legitimate question, because it's like, wait a minute.
I'm sure
That's
you'll
right.
figure it out. Either that or, like, we'll come check every couple of days to see if you guys want to, like, leave if you're not dead.
I'm sorry, did she say days?
What she said?
Right. Nothing for it. Let's get to work. If nothing else, I can we're not dead in the water. It's fine. Let's not worry about that right now.
The boat...
This is
Oh, continue.
this is an aquatic facility. There's going to be something in there that's probably aquatic we can use. If that fails, I have a contingency plan. We'll be fine. Let's just go. We'll worry about it. I can throw something together if we have to.
All right.
So the boat ride is quiet. The orc at the front doesn't talk to any of you. He steers through the water sort of aimlessly, going in weird patterns that don't really make any kind of sense. At one point, he does like a full loop around one of the stone pillars that you guys know keep the water safe from the rest of the water. And you go out further and further, and the moon hangs heavy overhead. And eventually, you don't see Sucrose Bay anymore. You just see black. And you hear water splashing against the boat, and you see stars and clouds and swirling, beautiful cotton in the sky. And kind of takes your breath away. It's an eerie kind of quiet out here, but it's not because of the waves and just the stillness. Eventually, off in the distance, you see a figure, a sort of looming monument. As you get closer, you realize it's coral. But colorful coral that's... The top of it is various colors, but the bottom is drained and gray. And you see it's making a lagoon. And there's a very narrow passage into this lagoon. And on the inside, there is what looks to be a floating platform that's held up by 6 very big buoys. And coming out of this platform is a shed with a telescope on top of it. But the telescope is covered in barnacles and rust, and it's protruding out of the roof of this shed. And there's a very small floating dock coming off of the platform. And the boat pulls up to the side, and it turns off in the quiet. What do you guys like to do?
Oh, Zomar sent the sending spell while they were riding in the boat. Do you want me to read it out loud?
That's entirely up to you.
He sent it to Dr. Laurel and it says, headed to Fog Lab B. How many labs are you aware of? Any advice for this lab? Anything you recall will help.
I'm typing out the response.
You said the coral was colored at the top and gray at the bottom?
Yep. How many words do you get back?
25 or less.
25? Okay. Do you want me to say what you get back, or just send it to you?
You can say it.
Okay. You get, during just the trip, you get Dr. Larl's voice in your head that says, "As far as I remember, A through E. Lab B should be peaceful. It was a delegation affair. We gathered there to relax and study."
Delegation affair to
I sent it
relax
to
and...
you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that way you can have it.
So Zulma's going to... He doesn't know what their expressions are, but or like where they're all at on this boat on the ride. But he's going to relay that and just say, "I sent a message to Dr. Laurel, asked her how many labs she believes there are. She says, as far as she can remember, A through E, and that Lab B should be peaceful. It was a delegation affair. We gathered there to relax and study. I'm sure it's not as peaceful now that there's mermaids or whatever else they're doing in there, but I guess it didn't have the same capacity as the last lab." And then when they arrive, he's going to be like, "Might as well," and kind of head to wherever the dock is to get off.
Alright, do you all get off the boat then?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright. Roll a acrobatics check, all of you.
Hey.
Don't forget to roll for Vitani and Rhea.
16 for me.
You're fine.
Acrobatics. 17 for Zulma.
Slowly getting there.
Don't worry, you got time. Don't forget to roll for Andrea.
I'm doing exactly that right now.
Gotcha.
I'm on top of
15
it.
for Vitani.
Okay, you put
15 for Vitani.
that in the wrong place, BD.
Oh, I did? Woohoo!
I got a 19,
I'm so
Nice.
proud of you.
which actually is a 24 because I have +5.
Alright. So, Vitani, Andrea, Rhea, and Augie. We'll get back to that. Well, no, we'll just do it now. Everybody else, you guys get on this dock and you realize that because it's floating, it wobbles. So you need to move your balance with it. And you get off of the dock as quickly as possible. Just sort of rushing off until you're on this platform, which is steady. It's like it's been anchored to the ground, even though it is a floating platform. Those of you who I mentioned earlier, you don't fall in. None of you rolled low enough to fall in. But you are sopping wet when you finally get off of this dock. And it is very, very cold water. The water at the beach was warm. This, cold. Also, Vitani's probably going to end up taking 3 points of damage from the water, so just remember that.
Yeah.
How many of them got wet?
Vitani got wet, Andrea, rusty, Rhea got wet, and Augie got wet. Mist almost got wet, but she rolled a 16.
Mist is going to, as she's standing on the dock, zip open her fanny pack and say, Remember those three towels I just shoved in there? I'm gonna need them back.
You hear your Minnesota fantasy man go, "Oi, did you need anything else?" I don't know why I
Nope.
can't do the accent right now. Normally I can.
No, I think that's it for now.
Okay, you don't need no sunscreen or nothing, no?
Not right now. Thanks, though.
Okay. Well, you let me know if you need anything. Howdy doody.
Mist is gonna toss a towel to each of the damp adventurers.
Before Mist does that for Augie, Augie's taken one of the towels that Mist gave him, and he's already starting to do it because he kept the 2 towels that Mist had given him earlier.
I figured that was what was going to happen.
You also have a towel.
Oh, I have yes, I do actually, and in fact, that's the towel. It's like it's a good towel.
You know the towel I mean.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's the
okay.
towel because that's a really good towel. It's
Okay.
like,
So as you
Mist will
guys
put the other one back in the bag.
go up to the door, you will see that there's a placard on the door that says Fog Lab B, Relations and Waves. There's metal encrusted, or the metal itself looks encrusted over, and there are barnacles that are sort of sealing the door shut. You don't see a barcode here, though. The doorknob looks like it's rusted a little.
Vitani and Rhea are going to look at each other, and they're going to. Rhea is going to. I don't know who has better strength.
They're barbarians, babe.
Oh. Oh, they both have the same strength modifier. Well, they're gonna assist each other in trying to pull the door open.
Alright, whoever wants to roll with advantage can roll with advantage.
I guess I will. In a straight? Is it a straight strength roll?
Yes, just with advantage.
Okay. That's what I mean. But like no athletics or anything.
Nope, just strength.
Just strength. So 15 plus 6, 21.
Rhea laughs in the face of your crowbar. And just yanks the door open with Vitani's help.
Yep.
Oh wait, Vitani was the one that did it?
I figured it would be Vitani since I rolled and I have her sheet.
Alright, to make herself feel better, she sort of lights up a little bit as she pulls the door open.
Yeah.
So as you get inside, you see the stand of this large telescope. The inside of the room has a lingering smell of salt and slightly spoiled fish. It's not pleasant. You see at the far end of this little shed, there's a glass elevator that has a sort of keypad on it. And over by the stand for the telescope, there's a chair that sits in front of it. The eyepiece on the telescope itself has been snapped off.
May I investigate the room?
Sure. Roll an investigation.
Yep. I'm getting in on that action too.
Same.
15.
I'm regretting getting on that action too.
What did you roll?
I rolled a number.
Oh, hang on. Check one thing.
Well, that's
Right,
lucky. He's investigation.
You're looking around the room. There's a layer of sort of, not dust, but like a film on everything. You get to the key card, and you notice that the key card, or not the key card, but the scanner, whatever it is...
The pin pad?
Yeah, the pin pad is, it's sort of, not encrusted, but just sort of like there's a slime to it that's covering up the keys itself, so it's going to be kind of hard to input anything unless it's cleaned off.
Wait. I got this. And I pull out my new book and I open it. And I wave my hands out and I point to it and I cast my wash spell and summon a sponge to wipe off the keypad.
Mhm.
Works.
That's cool.
You efficiently and effectively wash off this keypad.
And the room's like just otherwise just a normal room.
Yeah, there's the chair. It's slightly lopsided. One of the legs is shorter than the other three. Telescope's just a telescope. It's grimy. Can't really use it to see anything. It's just a bare, empty room.
Zulmar's gonna go over and now that the pin pad has been successfully cleared off, he's going to pull out that password paper and very carefully, very slowly type. Well, not very slowly, but he's going to enter the information as he sees it on the paper.
All right.
And it is a very. I'm gonna paste it for everybody. It's sucrose bag, but also not.
Oh, I hate it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I hate it so much.
Did you expect anything different?
You close one eye.
Right?
No, I used the internet in the 90s, so this makes total sense to me, and I hate it.
I'd never seen anybody use an R7 for an R before.
You didn't use the internet in the 90s, my friend.
I know.
There'd be entire posts written like this. I hate it so much.
It was definitely dying out when I was on in the early 2000s. I also was not big on just about. I didn't explore very much. Let me say that. So yeah, he enters that as he sees it.
All right. You enter the password. Press the enter key. There's a pause, and then you hear this faint beeping sound. Just two little beeps, and then sort of a pressure hits all of you as air comes out from the elevator doors as they like tug and then yank aside, and you see the inside of this glass elevator with a slightly damp red carpet.
Zulamar's just going to look at everyone and then shrug, and since he's probably the closest, he's going to enter. Because the man has no sense of self-preservation.
Obviously not, since he tried to drown himself today.
He also said thank you to a fairy first.
Alright, so Zulamar's in the elevator.
What?
I'm gonna follow right behind.
Time to go into
Going in there. Yep.
Baby.
Guess
Fog
we're all
Lab
in.
B. Oh my god.
Baby.
That's so difficult. Okay.
You're so cute. I love you so much. Anyway, I'm gay. Is everybody in the elevator? You all shuffling inside?
I will enter the elevator with assorted entourage.
Alright, once everybody is inside, you notice that there are no keys or up or down buttons in this elevator. It's just a round tube. And you wait for a couple of minutes and you're just sort of standing there, and slowly the doors just churn closed. And then you feel that pressure again.
I'm going to do what I have learned from elevators in my time, and I'm going to look for the interface and the part where we stab our hands and bloodlet in order to let it to go down, because that's our experience with elevators.
Roll in investigation.
Ah, lovely. 20. I can't find the hand stabbing interface, guys.
No, the walls are just smooth and made of glass.
Weird.
Zulma's gonna knock on the glass.
Nothing happens.
Well, maybe we have to smash the glass and then cut ourselves on it. I don't
I
know.
think there'd be some sort of instruction somewhere. This is not very user friendly.
We really
Perhaps-
should have discussed who would be on elevator hand stabbing duty.
Perhaps this is one where maybe you jump in the direction you want to go?
The elevator jerks and slowly starts to turn downward. And as it
Oh.
does, it goes very slowly. So you watch as you slowly dip below the surface of the water, and then it slowly fills up over the top of this glass tube. And as you are finally submerged, the temperature drops. And it's very cold. And the further down you get, the darker it gets and the colder it gets. Until eventually, like a snap, the glass outside begins to light up with spotlights, showing off the trashed underwater city that surrounds this area and several swift-moving blobs of black in the water that are fleeing from the light.
Vitani crank up her body heat just a little bit.
She's just gonna do a couple snaps towards Andrea, and Andrea's gonna pull out a couple torches and light them.
You said
Heat and
underwater
light.
city?
Yeah, there's an underwater city around you guys, and it is trashed.
Is it like an ancient city or
You wouldn't really know. You've never really
Is
seen an underwater
is there glass
city
around
before.
all of it, or is it just like it's just part of
It looks
the
like it's made
landscape and like
it looks like it's made of coral and brick and like giant seashells and shit like that. The elevator.
And can we since never mind.
Oh,
Go
no.
ahead.
You go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna ask, like, is there any way for us to kind of see as far down as we can as it's lowering itself, like where this tube is in relation to the city? Like, is it in the middle? Is there anything surrounding them immediately as they get lower?
You can't really tell. The water doesn't let you go out that way. You can see what the spotlights are pointing out. Otherwise, it's just pitch black. Wherever a spotlight isn't, you don't see a
Gotcha.
fucking thing. The elevator continues down, and it does continue to get colder. And eventually, the spotlights just sort of lift upward, so you are dunked in this black night, while you can see everything above you. And eventually, the night seems to get even darker, until the elevator shakes a little bit. And then the doors that you entered from open again. And
Is it still pitch black?
well, hold on. I'm pulling something up. You see a long hallway with dim lights on either side of the floor that go all the way to a door that is lit by what look like rope lights at the very end.
Missouri.
are we just under all that water and are we safe? Mist is looking a little bit shaken. This is kind of scary.
You said it's dimly lit hallway?
Yep, a dimly lit hallway by little lights, like emergency lights on the floor, and then at the very end, what looks like rope lights are covering up a door.
Does it look like the hallway is also made of glass and we see more of the darkness around it?
Yes.
Okay.
Augie's just gonna carry forward.
Yep.
Um,
Zuma's right there with him.
the terror as it is. The claustrophobia. He's here to do a job, and he can't do that job sitting outside. So this is on the list of terrors between within a giant mimic monster with teeth.
They are dwarfs. We'll say that.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's
Mist will walk beside Augie, but maybe like a little bit unnecessarily close, as like their arms occasionally would bump into each other, which normally she wouldn't do. But partially because it's dark, she doesn't seem to mind as much because maybe no one will notice.
You are, by the way, walking on glass, so there is a distinct echo in this hallway.
awkward question time. Who here has eyes that can see in this light?
I can
we
see,
all
but I don't like it.
Pretty sure all of you can see in the dark. I think all of
Man,
you
I
have dark
can-
vision.
Yeah, I think we all do. Yeah. I know both Zulmar and Vitani can.
All right. Well, then that makes things a little bit easier. The torches are for warmth, then they're not for light. If you get
I like
cold,
torches.
Just snuggle
Pardon?
up to Vitani.
I like the torches. Let's
Yeah.
keep them.
I like the torches too. Does anyone else want a torch? I've got extras. And Andrea.
Zulmar's holding Vitani's hand and he's like, perhaps at least whoever's bringing up the Rhea can have a torch as well.
Yeah, I'll take a torch.
Can I make a medicine check to
For-
notice if Atani took damage?
Sure.
Okay. 18 plus a number plus, so 22.
Yeah, no, Vitani's kind of traumatized, and also you can see that she's kind of like very tense in a way that she normally gets when she's taken damage. Like her skin looks
She's good.
not as bright.
She's gonna walk up to Vitani and, are you okay?
She's just gonna be like, been better.
All right. Oshi's gonna actually hand her one of the lit torches and is gonna say, well, we're going into a cold, damp area. You probably need this more than anyone else. We shouldn't be relying on you for warmth. You should be relying on this.
She's just gonna be like, you make a good point. Yeah, didn't really think much about the whole mermaids going in and out, meaning the entire thing is at the depths of the water.
Wasn't expecting to come down here, but I can't say I wasn't entirely unprepared. It's okay. You'll be okay. We'll be okay. We've got gods that have trusted us to do a thing here. We're gonna be okay, guys.
Yeah, Vitani's gonna look kind of, yeah.
Yeah, the babies are huddled up in the
Sharing the warmth.
It's a little awkward because they're getting big, but they're doing their best to try and be tiny. So as you
Good
get to
job.
the end of this long hallway, you see another door with another keypad.
Another what? You cutting out.
Another keypad. You hear me that time?
Yeah. Zulamar's just gonna go and try the same thing, because it's not like they have anything else to put in.
The door immediately opens. And when it does, inside, the brick walls have a clinging chill and an echoing kind of silence in this room. As you enter, there is an enormous industrial fireplace in the northeast corner, unlit and covered in dust. There's an empty desk that sits on the southeast wall with a "Gone to Lunch" sign placed atop, and a map of it's on top of a map of the facility. Against the west wall are 3 large, sealed wooden crates. There are doors to the west and south in this room, and I am going to give you guys a map.
Kitty map.
Yep. Let me
Map is map.
Map.
pull this up. I'm gonna post it into Dice Jail as well as into Atmosphere and Images. If it'll let me. Or, well, just remind me to post it into Atmosphere and Images later. I'm trying, I promise. My computer's just trying to, like, eat us, delete us itself.
You're doing a great job.
We can use my map. I think it's perfect.
Wow, your map has us right by the treasure.
I know.
Hooray!
There you guys
So
go.
we came in the room with the sweet round one.
Yeah, the room in the top right is the one that you came in on, and the one in the door next to that round bit in the top, that's the door you guys came in.
Okay.
Is that the fireplace?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is the fireplace.
May I investigate the room to see if I see anything of value or interest or
No dead bodies.
You
knowledge?
absolutely may. No dead bodies.
Right.
I'll take that.
Why did you do that?
What?
Drake putting in a SoundCloud rapper. Mod 20. Alright, you notice that underneath the desk there is a rug on the floor. Nothing underneath the rug, but you notice that there's a rug. You also notice that the big crates in the left bottom corner of the room, they look like they could pop open and they smell like wood. You also notice that there's a big lever on the left-hand side of the furnace. And as you're looking around, because you rolled so high, you decide to go behind the reception desk. And you see underneath the chair, the reception chair, that there is a dust-covered child's hair beret underneath one of the wheels.
Mist is gonna pick up the beret or beret.
Barrette, but I don't
I
know
wasn't
why
sure
my
if I was
brain.
picturing the right thing.
Yeah, my brain hates saying it with a T. I don't know why.
I just
Yeah,
want to make
those
sure.
are-
But there's
I
a
said
hat.
that.
That's a hat.
I know,
It's
my
different.
brain
There's,
just hates
like-
it. I don't know why. It happens from time to time. But it's a barrette.
Valid.
It's okay.
And Mist is going to just wait. Is it one of those great spinny chairs?
Yes.
Yes. I don't know why that's so pleasing to me. This is my fantasy world, and I'm happy for it. She's just gonna like idly spin the chair as she bends down and picks up the bread, and she's gonna tuck it in her pocket, and then she is going to pull off her back a crowbar and head over to the boxes. Hey, see what's in here. Any objections? Smells woody.
I don't have any objection. Rhea's gonna take the map like she did at the last one.
All right.
Oshi's going to be investigating the furnace and trying to get that going.
Need some
Alright.
wood?
I don't know yet.
homebrew.
I might.
Roll an investigation check, Augie. And while you do
Okay.
that, Miss, roll a strength check.
Oh no.
Ah, damn it!
Could Mist. Wait, let me see how this goes first, or should I?
Oofa.
Rip.
Could Mist make Rhea help her?
Mist could ask?
Rhea could absolutely help.
Rhea, she's gonna like point at the or Mist is gonna go to open it and then go, and she's gonna look over at Rhea and hold the crowbar out to her and be like, can you open these for me?
Rhea would happily do that. Roll for her.
Thanks. It's nice having a bit of muscle around on occasion. You should help me steal things sometime.
Rhea's gonna chuckle.
It's important to have some muscle. Oh, that's my character sheet, not Rhea's. Strength plus 4. That's an 18. She's strong.
She gets to the first of the 3 crates. She wedges the flat end of the crowbar in and just puts a little pressure, and the lid pops up, and you see a bunch of cut wood. It's a little dusty, but it's a bunch of cut, neat wood.
Cut wood in a box made of wood?
Yes.
That's almost weirder. Does anyone think that's weirder? Hey, is there something special about this wood? Some of you guys like wood, right? And she's gonna just like look at Vitani with rakes her eyebrows.
Am I able to like do a nature check on the wood?
Yes, you are.
Packaging wood.
Give me just a second. It's gonna take me a minute.
You're okay.
It's
You
just from
will
Brother
get
Brenda.
advantage on this, by the way.
I will get advantage, you said?
Yes, you'll get advantage. While you
You're
wait
cutting out
for...
a little bit.
I know, they're watching Netflix.
So she does get advantage.
Yes.
That was what we were missing.
Sorry, they're Netflixing. While we wait for that to load,
Yeah, I have
Augie, this is a furnace. The fire comes out somewhere.
Furnace be hot.
You're not sure where.
I was just trying to see if this. I can't. Yeah, I can't tell if this is a gas fireplace or a wood fireplace.
Can Zulema come over and investigate with his own knowledge of, as she pointed out, Miss pointed out, fires and trees and wood and whatnot. He'd probably recognize a wood fireplace. He had no idea what a gas
inside here.
fireplace means.
Sure, go ahead.
Fireplace that uses gas.
Say what?
A fireplace that uses gas.
Fair. What did Sona say?
I said sure.
Okay.
Sorry.
He's going to go.
So, Ahsoka, with that magical, fun knowledge that you currently have, you realize that wood is wood from here, from below. And it's specifically from a tree that you've never seen before, but you know by instinct, is called a longburn tree. named thus because it burns for a long time.
Makes sense. So, who was the one that Miss has the box, right?
Yes, Mist and
Well,
Rhea are
Rhea
at
opened
the
the box for Mist.
The wood that
This is
the wood inside is different from the wood of the box, by the way. It's two
Yeah.
different woods.
This one here is long burn wood. I've never seen it before, but I feel like I know what it is.
Longburn wood. Well, it's either something that's named incredibly silly after some adventurer named Cuthbert Longburn, or it's for the fireplace.
Did you figure out if that fireplace needs any of that wood anyway?
Zulma has
No
rolled a
clue.
19, so he's probably going to be like,
Not a clue.
he's going to turn around and be like, yeah,
Yeah,
it takes this wood.
you can see this sort of dip between where you would clean out the grate for the ashes. It's a wood burning fireplace. You also notice that where the chimney chute would be, there's a sort of long tube and there are jets coming out, and you reckon that the jets are about the same place where that lever is.
Oh, so that'll open like the flue and turn
Flue.
on the push it off. Yeah, so he's
Wood?
going to be like, yes, it is a wood burning fireplace, and even has, flue and can turn on a fan and something. A jet. We usually just had, normal ones. There's the little fancier things.
Are all the crates the same size? Did you
Yes.
say?
They're all the same size.
Okay, so they all are likely the same thing. Okay. Do Mist is going to look at Zulmar and at Augie and say, "Do you want to light a fire, or were you just checking it out?"
I think it would be prudent to light a fire, yeah.
All of you
All
roll
right.
survival.
We don't know how
Rather
long we're going
cold
to be
still,
down here.
right?
Yeah, roll survival.
Roll
Then Mist is
survival.
going to grab a couple. Ooh.
All right.
And it's still cold down here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 9. I'm not good at building fires underground.
That's not why I was asking you to roll survival, baby.
Even better.
What did everybody else roll?
We
Oh,
all are
it's
rolling.
Oh, everybody,
to-
yeah. Everybody roll survival.
Yep.
$17 for Zulmar.
Uh-oh.
Mod 20 for Vitani.
Wait, that's stealth. My bad. I hit the wrong one.
You can't stealth
I
your way
still
out
get
of
plus
this
5 for
roll.
survival. I still get plus 5 on that anyways. Do you want me to re-roll again?
No, you don't have to reroll. Alright,
Okay.
so Rhea, Mist, Augie. Your hands are kind of going numb. Kind of cold in here.
Let's get that fire going, like, super fast.
Mist is going to agree and grab as many pieces of wood as she can, and so is Rhea, and they're going to carry them over to the fire.
While they're doing that, Augie's going to grab one of his crowbars and he's going to start chipping away at some of the remains of the top of the crate to make splinters for kindling.
That was what I was going to ask. Is there anything like a fire starter, anything to help?
We got
Rhea's,
torches.
I mean,
That'll
Vitane's
start
going to
fire.
go.
Don't
Well,
some
we
of
got the
you have
torch, you got the
magic?
fire person, but oh, good question. I mean, we
Yeah,
already have the
there you go.
torches. So that's easy.
Yeah, it's starting the fire is not difficult. I'm just getting some kindling, so that's not like a pain in our ass. Chop chop.
Alright, I'm not gonna make you guys roll to start the fire itself. I'm pretty sure you can all do that. You've been camping before, or... Well, the people that camp or start fires most of their lives, they're the ones
Also-
making the fire. Also?
Also, Zulima has a tinder box.
Also, Augie knows how to make a fire because of smithing and stuff.
So eventually you guys start the fire. Do you pull the lever?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
so
the lever clunk!
you don't suffocate via smoke filling the room,
Yay!
and slowly warmth starts to heat beneath the floors and fill the room with warmth. And I'm going to ask, how is everybody on time?
I should probably go to bed. Oh, I never
I
took my
exist as a
meds either.
temporal being.
Oh.
So I should really go to bed because it's going to take a while for my meds to kick in.
Alright,
Yeah, I continue to be a temporal being that exists in
well,
this universe.
then I will wrap this up by saying you all have entered into the reception hall of Fog Lab B. Below the surface, in a brick room with a fancy fireplace, a dusty rug, 3 crates of wood, a reception desk, and you found a hidden treasure. When we return, you guys will decide where you're going, what you're doing, and what this adventure will bring. With that, I'm going to stop the episode. In 3, 2,
Wait, we can decide what this adventure will bring?
1.
I